Thanks for watching Jacket Vision from Oxford High School. I'm Alex Byrne.
And I'm Riley Gillum. Today on Jacket Vision, you'll learn more about joining the OHS Band Auxiliary. We'll tell you how to protect yourself from the flu, and spring sports are getting underway. We'll have these stories and more coming up on today's Jacket Vision.
Oxford High School students had an opportunity to get a glimpse of the future of transportation recently. The Alabama Power Company brought their $140,000 Tesla electric car for students to see and experience. Students gathered at the football stadium to hear an Alabama representative talk about the car and the clean energy used to power it. Plug-in electric cars have batteries charged by plugging into the electricity grid and are a new high-tech vehicle option.
We're already in the middle of the school year, and Oxford students are facing a round of standardized testing. Earlier this week, students took the ACT Aspire test. The test allows students to see and reflect on how much they have learned, and it helps to determine what classes to take next year.
Okay. The ACT Aspire tests are tests given to students in Alabama beginning in elementary school all the way through the end of 10th grade. They are tests to prepare students eventually for the ACT. But essentially they're tests used each year by teachers and the administration to know are students on track towards moving towards high school level material.
The ACT Aspire is an advanced test to measure student knowledge to see what they know or what they need to know. 9th, 10th, and 11th grade are required to take the test. To prepare to the next round of testing, be sure to listen and pay attention in class and do all of your work as assigned. Mr. Locker says that there are plenty of ways to get help.
Okay. Well, the Aspire test in itself is a good preparation. Every year as students take that test, they get feedback. The feedback will help how much they know on that material. Teachers then use that to help guide what they teach in the classes. For example, if a teacher noticed that a lot of her students have deficiencies in a certain area in reading, then the teacher will make sure that lesson is incorporated into her class or his class to make sure they cover that and help get the students prepared.
Remember to always do your best and you will succeed.
Think you have a chance at becoming Miss Oxford? The Oxford Band Boosters organization is hosting the 57th annual Miss Oxford pageant at the Oxford Middle School on Saturday, April 8th, 2017. Come for a night of glitz, glam, and entertainment.
You can expect to see babies all the way up to 12th grade competing for the title of Miss Oxford. For the babies up to 9th grade, they will only compete wearing evening wear or their pageant dress. And when you get to the Miss Oxford category, that's 10th through 12th grade, they will have interview, opening number, talent, and evening wear. And if these girls are even considering being in this pageant and are nervous about it, they just need to contact me because I will talk you through every step of the way.
All applications are due March 8th at 3:30 p.m. and March 15th at 3:30 with a $20 late fee. The entry fee for all categories is $65 and $30 Miss Photogenic fee. For any questions about the pageant, please contact Teresa Harris at 256-689-5209 or at tharris.de@oxford.k12.al.us.
Flu season is no fun. Just ask officials at Asheville High School in St. Clair County. Recently, the school reported nearly 400 students were absent on one day, and many of those students were suffering with the flu. This has been a common occurrence at many other high schools around the state. But what about our school here at Oxford High School?
The past couple weeks, we have seen the influx of it getting to us. Last week was probably more so than this week. We've had a couple days where I've sent a lot of folks home.
This year's flu season has been comparably worse than those in the past. Nurse Edwards always recommends getting a flu shot as it is the best procedure against the flu. There are many measures to take to prevent the flu. Nurse Edwards says that the school is actively working on prevention efforts as well.
If we see a lot of students going home sick, then I usually send out an email saying, hey, I've seen lots of students in my office today. You need to do some extra cleaning in your classroom. Spraying Lysol, wiping down desks, wiping down doorknobs, things that the students are touching a lot of.
Keeping students free from infection is very important. Following correct hygiene procedures will ensure your safety during the flu season. Remember to cover your nose and mouth, wash your hands often, and avoid close contact with sick people.
If you've ever wanted to be part of the Friday Night Lights scene during high school football season, you're in luck. Tryouts to be a majorette, golden girl, or color guard are coming up in a few weeks. When tryouts begin, you will spend an entire week at practice clinics at the high school. In these clinics, you will learn all about technique, staying on beat, and more to prep you to make the team. At the end of the clinics, you will show off these techniques and a music routine to judges to determine if you're qualified to be on the team.
And on Fridays, we do each other's makeup and dress in pretty uniforms, and we've actually got to go on some fun trips this past season. We're going to go to Disney in a couple of months, and my sophomore year we actually went to Gatlinburg and did a parade there and actually won, so that was really exciting. I was actually co-captain this past season and the season before that, and I learned that being able to lead those girls in something that I've done my whole life was really exciting, to get to teach other people what I know about dancing, and it was just a good experience for me in prep for college next year, and just being able to use those previous experiences to lead other people.
Clinics will be held from March 6th to the 9th at 3:30 to 5:30 at OHS. Tryouts will be held March 10th at 4 o'clock p.m. at Oxford Middle School. For more information, see Mr. McDaniel in the band room.
Oxford High School's athletics have been very successful recently, but there's also been a triumph for the school as a whole. Oxford was ranked number 18 in Best Public Alabama High Schools by NISH and received outstanding scores in academics, college readiness, and sports. However, the most remarkable accomplishment was in standardized testing scores. NISH reports that the average ACT score of Oxford students is 24, which is far above proficient. According to NISH, these scores may be a result of the AP and college-level readiness classes offered at Oxford, as well as the tremendous expectations the students are held to. Coming up next on Jacket Vision, the OHS basketball team ends its season on a historic note, and spring sports are getting underway all around campus.
All that and more coming up in a moment on Jacket Vision. With spring around the corner, baseball and softball are getting underway, and both teams are excited and ready for the season.
Baseball coach Wes Brooks says he's more than proud to be a Yellow Jacket.
I don't think there's another time in Oxford High School history that you can call yourself and be proud to call yourself an Oxford Yellow Jacket. With our wrestling team just winning a state championship, our basketball team in the Elite Eight tonight as we speak, and the startup of Coach McKibben's softball team. They finished second in the state last year. Baseball made a great run last year, and it's just our football team went 10-0. So, from outside looking in, you're like, man, Oxford's got it going on, but being on the inside, it's just an awesome, kids today tend to walk around with their chests out because they're proud to be an Oxford Yellow Jacket and proud to wear that black and gold.
This year, Coach McKibben will return once again as a head coach of the softball team and is carrying on her philosophy that winning is contagious.
Right now, Oxford's a good place to be. There's a lot of quality athletes, a lot of quality coaches. Everybody's being very successful, but when you've got coaches in place and teachers in place that care about the kids, and the kids buy into that program, the championship culture that we're all trying to instill in these kids and pushing kids, because this day and age, kids, they're not everyone is self-motivated like they should be. So with the hard work that the coaches are putting in, I think it's great. I mean, winning is contagious.
For more information of this year's softball and baseball schedule, visit the school's website for more information.
It's been an amazing year so far for the Oxford High School varsity boys basketball team. Even though they were stopped at arm's length from their goal, they still had an historic season. Senior Jacoby McClendon says that he believes, even though he is leaving, that the team will do fine without him, and they will have good leadership and great players coming into the next year. The Yellow Jackets went 23-10 on the season and advanced to the regional finals for the first time in school history. Congratulations on a successful and historic season.
The Oxford High School track and field tryouts went over well, according to head coach Lee Osment. Coach Osment says that he believes that the coming years for track and field will have a bright future.
We had a lot of young people come out. The first day had over 80. Second day we had just over 70. So we had a real good turnout, a lot of interest in it. And anytime you have that kind of interest in your sport, you're happy about it, and it gives kids an opportunity to contribute to their school, to represent their school, and be on a team that maybe don't play other sports or do other things like band and any other extracurricular. So it's always exciting to have that good a turnout in the preseason.
Coach Osmond is excited and looks forward to having a good season. Some of the track athletes say they have confidence that the new track and field athletes will do great.
This year out of the track, as far as looking from the list, we got a whole bunch of people, or boys in generally. We got a big team this year, so it means more people can compete in different events, so meaning a lot more points.
I'm expecting a state title from Twan, Shania, Brooklyn, all the younger ones that's coming up. And I expect them to work hard and do better than I did.
For more information about track and field, go to oxfordcityschoolsonline.com.
Spring sports are starting back up, and the Oxford tennis season is already underway. The tennis team ended their season last year by competing in Mobile for a state title. Oxford tennis player Ethan Fuller is excited for this year and gave us a few statements about the upcoming season.
Well, we've been working really hard on the off season and in the early season to make sure that we get as many wins as possible this season.
This year, the boys team has one returning senior. Jake Hammond is already looking forward to this year's season and has taken up the role of being team's leader.
It's a good process, and I love being a leader, and I love embracing the role as being a leader of the team, and enjoy it very much.
The season has already started off on a high note with the boys and girls teams sweeping Jacksonville High School. Boys team 8-1 and girls 7-2.
Before we go, don't forget that prom is coming and we have an interesting promposal for you to see. Kurt Morphus asked Shanika Pittman to tackle prom with him. We wish Kurt and Shanika well and hope everyone has a great time at prom. If you have an interesting promposal and would like to share it on Jacket Vision, email it to jacketvision@gmail.com.
That's it for this week's edition of Jacket Vision from Oxford High School.
If you have interesting school news and events that you would like to share with us, just send an email to jacketvision@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us.